Three.
Hello, everyone. It's been a
Hello,
real good
hello.
pleasure. Hello, myself, of course, Ram, and of course, remember, Hari. We are back on the plot Malaysia. Welcome, for our second show. This is a football show for the fans,
By
by
the
the
fans.
fans,
Yep.
by the
So
fans,
want
definitely.
to want to
Yeah,
emphasize that it's a show for the
yep,
fans. It's by the fans. So we're not experts
yep.
in any way, but we're here to have a good time. And we want interaction. We want your views. We want your comments, and these comments will be shared in our upcoming shows as well. So yeah, please keep them coming. And yeah, we look forward to entertaining you today with some really interesting topics. Actually, Rob, don't we? We have got some
Very,
very
very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting indeed. So Hari and I have decided that that we are going to be discussing a few topics that we have in mind, and we are going to definitely be sharing it everyone. We're trying to make this as interactive as possible for everyone as well. So we are definitely looking forward for your comments. So Hari, what is the first thing that we are going to talk about today?
The first thing we're going to talk about is Ram. How was your weekend?
My weekend is fantastic. I feel very, very happy because I think I'm dressed well for the occasion. I can see you are too, so I'm just going to show everyone. This is basically what I'm wearing today.
Yes.
Hari, do you want to show what you are wearing today?
I've just got a reminder for you, Ram. We're the champions. Who are the champions? And yeah,
Okay, okay,
perfect for
all
this season,
right,
turning doubters into believers. Jurgen Klopp, we're behind you, no matter
all
what.
right.
All right.
You know what, guys. If you
Yep.
look at this, right, this is just amazing, right? United fan going head to head with a Liverpool fan. This is just going to be on and on banter that we're going to have throughout the entire time that we're actually doing this show. So, Hari, maybe you want to just share what we're going to do. The first part of the show. What's the first topic we're going to discuss? So,
Right.
go ahead, Hari.
Right. So what we're going to do today is what we're going to cover today, guys, is we want to talk, and I think me and Ram have done a bit of preparation for this as well. So I'm very interested to see because I haven't had an insight into this. I'm very interested to see Ram's team of the season so far. So the first topic we want to cover today is our Premier League team of the season so far, right? So I mean, Ram has got his, I've got mine. We're going to discuss. It's going to be a bit of a surprise for me as well to hear what Ram has in store. And then, yeah, we want to hear your team of the seasons as well in the comments moving forward and give us your views as well. But yeah, Ram, let's go. Let's start with you, man. Did you have a lot of preparation? Did you have to put a lot of thought into this, or was it very very easy to come up with a team of the season so far?
To be honest, Harry, there was some thought involved in this, of course, because you're looking at, a lot of players that are shining in the season, if you agree with me. There's a lot of players from different teams that are doing really well, but it was definitely a hard choice for me when it comes to the positions. But I think I have picked the right 11 that I think would be the team of the season, and I'm sure you have too.
I feel like I have for the team of the season so far. I mean, listen, there may be something that happens in the last 2 3 months of the season that changes things, but as of now, I think I've got the right picks in mind. There are a lot of surprises this season because some teams are doing better than a normal season. Some teams are doing a lot
Yeah,
like
yep,
quite
yep, definitely.
season. All right, let's start with you, Ram. Who have you gone with your goalkeeper? And what formation are you playing? Firstly, what formation are you playing? This is interesting.
I think I'm a very conventional guy. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I think I like the all for good 4-4-2. I'm going for
Okay,
the 4-4-2.
okay. Let. I'm going. So I'll just let you know. I'm going for a 4-3-3, but uh, four flat defenders, two sitting, two sorry, up and down patrolling midfielders, back end to end midfielders, one number 10, and then three forwards basically. So 4-3-3, but a different shape to the 4-3-3. So who are you going with as a goalkeeper
Yep.
first? Let's see if we got something similar.
Okay, for the goalkeeper, of course, I am sticking with the United goalkeeper, David De
You're
Gea.
all
I think
biased, man. Don't tell me you're going to go
no,
again.
I think he has been, I think this season, I know he's not being at his best form, but I think that he has made some pretty stunning saves, and I really, really think he has a lot more to offer this season. So I am going to give him a chance, and I am putting him in my number one goalkeeping thing. And what about you, Hari? What's your goalkeeper, and
I
who
think
is your
that's such a
goalkeeper?
biased choice because he's totally off form. But well, everyone's to his own choice. I'm going with Emiliano Martinez actually from Aston Villa.
Okay,
They bought him
Aston
from
Villa.
Arsenal. He was a second choice at Arsenal. Did very well for a few games at Arsenal. Joined Aston Villa and he's been in top form. So I think he's got 12 clean sheets, which is the second highest clean sheets only to Edison this year so far. And Aston Villa flying basically compared to previous seasons. So that's why I've gone with Emi Martinez. What about your back four? So let's do the back four at one go, and then let me know who are the
back four at one go. Okay,
yep.
Great. So at center of defense, I've got John Stones. I picked John Stones. I've gone with Eric Bailly as well because I think these two, and it's not a biased choice again, right? I know what you're thinking. It's not. It's
Bailly barely
just
plays,
that
man.
I realized. Oh, come on. I'm sure you're going to have some Liverpool players there as well. So yeah, whatever,
Yep.
So anyway, Bailly
Yep.
is whenever he plays, I realize he has kept the defense really, very strong. Stones, and I'm going with Shaw on the left back and Alexander Arnold on the right back.
Cool. I mean, interesting. You picked a Liverpool player at right back. You'd be surprised.
Well,
I didn't pick a Liverpool player in my back line at all because if ideal situation, I would have picked, like, I think, of course, Van Dijk would have been in there, but he's injured. But Robertson and Arnold would have been, Trent would have been in there. But of course, I don't think they're in top form this year. So I've not gone for them. I think their players performing better than them in the league. So I'm going to be a bit fair with this one. So I've gone centre backs. I could have gone John Stones, but I'm going with Ruben Diaz, and I'm going with a surprise in Tyrone Mings from Aston Villa.
Tyrone Mings from Aston Villa.
Yeah, Ruben Diaz, because he's a leader of men. He's kept them really solid. They barely concede goals. He's also got the most passes in the league, and that's for a defender. And he scored a goal yesterday as well, a very important goal, I think, against West Ham yesterday as well. So I think Ruben Diaz is a given. Tyrone Mings, I think Aston Villa are flying. He's a very tall defender. He's again a leader of men. He's got a couple of goals this season as well. But I just think he's a solid player, and I think he could move on to another bigger club fairly soon as well. So I like him. In fullback positions, I've gone with on my right back spot. I've gone with João Cancelo.
Okay.
And I like him. I think he's someone we're going to discuss in later in the show as well when we talk about Man City and how they play. But he plays a very different role to typical fullbacks. And then in the left back spot, I've gone with Lucas Digne from Everton.
Lucas Digne.
Yes, I like him. He's an Everton guy, so obviously there's a rivalry there. But I've gone for him. I think he's really good. He's got 6 assists. He's got a very good delivery from left back. And I think a lot of his assists have been to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which is why he scored so many goals this year. So that's why I've gone with Lucas Digne as my left back. What about in the middle of midfield, Ram? Who have you gone for in midfield?
Okay, my take on this is that I do have a few people in mind, of course, but I'm not going to be putting in their conventional position that they normally play because I look at these players, I find that some of them are very versatile. So I do have one player that I do like in the center of midfield. I'm going to go, of course, with a Liverpool player as well. I think Wijnaldum, Jorginho Wijnaldum. I think he is really, really, really good. I think that he has done a lot of wonderful passes in the middle of the park. I think he has controlled the midfield, alongside, of course, Thiago. In Liverpool, I think he has done a really good job overall. So I really like the way he has played. Of course, he's consistent from last season and this season, so I think he is the best contender in the middle of the park. And I'm also, of course, I'm going to go for Bruno Fernandes. Okay, definitely for sure. That's his partner. That's without a doubt the best signing in the Premier League so far for me. So yes, this is who I have in the middle of the park: Jorginho Wijnaldum and Bruno Fernandes.
What about the two?
What about you, Hari?
What about the two wingers you're playing in midfield?
Oh, okay. So the wingers, I just want to clarify, Hari. I was torn between Grealish and of course Declan Rice.
Yep.
Okay. But I think I'm going to go with Grealish because
he's really good.
This guy is amazing. His delivery, he's aggressive and he's quick. So I think he really has a lot to offer, in this team because his crosses in, crazy. He can do so much with the ball, and I'm really excited to see him back in action. So I would definitely go for Jack Grealish.
I'm a big fan of
on the right.
Yeah, good pick. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure you are, man. And of course, on the right-hand side, this is something that a lot of people may not agree, but I think he's suited in that area. I'm going for Kevin De Bruyne.
I think that's a great pick, actually. Kevin De Bruyne plays in the middle, basically, but he's got a really good delivery from crosses as well and deliveries.
Yes.
Yeah, good pick.
Yes.
I'm going with someone.
And that's the reason why. That's the reason why I chose him. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think that's a really solid midfield. Actually, I'm going for I think quite a different midfield. I think there's only one similar player there. That's Bruno Fernandes. As a Liverpool fan, it pains me to say Bruno
There you
Fernandes,
go.
but he's exceptional. He's been a brilliant signing, and I think without him, Man United will be further down the league.
Yeah, I
Maybe,
know you said that last week, but
maybe, maybe,
I
maybe,
think
maybe struggling to stay in the league basically. But uh, yeah, Bruno Fernandes, great man, 10 assists, 15 goals for a number 10 and a midfielder is unbelievable. So I think it's
yes.
a fantastic signing. And then the two players that I have sitting and making runs up and down are Thomas Suchek from West Ham. I think he's a brilliant player. His statistics are fantastic. He's run the most compared to all the players in the Premier League so far across the season. He's got great height and physicality about him, so he's up and down. And he's got 8 goals as well from a typical midfield position. So I like Thomas Suchek. Actually, he impresses me a lot. And West Ham are doing well as well. They're at fourth place, so I've gone for
Yep.
him. And then the other one, I think, is no surprise. I've gone for Gundogan. I think he's carrying Man City's challenge this year. 11 goals from midfield. No team has been able to find a way to stop him. A totally different role to previous seasons. He's now making late runs into the box, playing almost like a Frank Lampard role. So I've been very impressed with Ilkay Gundogan. So, which is why I've gone for that midfield. Interesting, interesting,
Okay.
interesting. What about up front? Who are you
Very,
going with?
very. Okay, this is going to be interesting, guys. My top two strikers in the front is going to be Gabriel Jesus and Marcus Rashford.
Okay, very interesting. I'm actually surprised
Gabriel
by that.
Jesus and Marcus Rashford, because you're surprised?
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised with Rashford because you're going to pick a Man United player, of course. But why Gabriel Jesus? Because he hasn't really played much, right? But what is it about Gabriel Jesus that you
No.
like?
You see, when I see him play, or when he comes on as a sub, for example, when he comes on as a sub for Man City, I was watching that game that day. I realized that he creates something, out of nothing. Like, he can be in the box, he can be outside the box, and he's so fast, he's so agile. And for me, it's like any ball you pass to him in the middle of the park or into the opponent's box, the way he controls it, and he always almost creates a chance. And I think with Rashford partnering him, they're going to complement each other in that sense.
Yep.
And they're going to have a good competition among each other. And of course, I can see a lot of goals, will be scored with that pair. So I think for me, that's the reason why I picked Gabriel Jesus, because I think
It's
he's
very,
built
very interesting. Very interesting choice. So my three forwards, I think you'll be surprised as well a little bit with this, but I've gone with Mo Salah. And this is the only Liverpool player I picked in this team, by the way, Mo Salah. The reason is simple, right? Liverpool are struggling this year, but he's still top goal scorer in the Premier League, 17 goals.
He's the consistent one, yes.
Yeah, he's firing still, even though we're struggling, and he's got more than 20 goals a season for the last 4 years since he's been at Liverpool. That's stunning numbers. So Mo Salah, I think, is in there. I've gone for Son Heung-min because I love the guy. I love Son Heung-min, and I would want him at Liverpool. He's got like 13 goals this year, and I think he's got about 5 or 6 assists as well in the league. He's fantastic. He's constantly pressing. He's such a hard worker, and he's got a lot of ability in him as well. He can get past people. He works very closely with Harry Kane, and he scores some fantastic goals. So I like Son Heung-min as well. It's a personal preference. I would love him at Liverpool. That's why I've gone for Son Heung-min. And the last one will surprise everyone, I think, but I've gone for Patrick Bamford from Leeds United. This is a very interesting choice.
That guy's good. That guy is a good
Why I
choice.
like him? Exactly, yeah. He plays for Leeds. And Leeds are a very hard-working team. They're running all over the place, so he works really hard. And his background was very interesting for me. He actually comes from, he's not like a typical footballer. Footballers come from the working class normally in the UK. But he actually comes from a very wealthy family. I think his family are millionaires or billionaires or something. He actually had a scholarship to study in Harvard University, which he turned down to carry on a career in football, which is what impresses me about his character as well. And he works really hard for the team. He's got good build. He's good in the air. He makes a lot of runs into the channel for Leeds, and he makes them tick, I think. He's got 13 goals in the league. Leeds United signed a Spanish international, Rodrigo. I think it was from Valencia in the summer. The idea, I think, was to play Rodrigo as the main striker because he was a top striker in Spain.
Yeah.
But he's not been able to dislodge Bamford. In fact, Rodrigo can't get in the team. Half the time he's been played out of position. So for me, that's a big credit to Bamford. And I personally think he's someone England should take to the Euros, actually. Have him in the squad. Maybe not start, but I think he should be in the squad for England in the Euro. That's why I've gone for Patrick Bamford. A very impressive.
Interesting enough, you said Patrick Bamford. I think I agree with you on that. He's a brilliant striker. I watched him against Southampton. I think the goal he scored, the one where the two defenders and he just puts the ball into the net. I think that was just a brilliant goal. I think yes, he does have a good finishing touch. I think man, your 4-3-3 really has some pretty thoughtful players, man. Seriously, it's really good.
I think my team would beat yours in a one-on-one in a one-off match. That's what I think.
No. No, okay.
But what was that? What do you say?
We got to see, man. Seriously, because I chose 4-4-2. There's a lot of attacking players as well. You have a 4-3-3, right? But of course, I feel that with Shaw and of course Alexander-Arnold able to come up front, I think there's going to be a lot of attacking support that is going to happen. So I'm confident that my team could beat your team, guys. What do you think? My team or Hari's team? Please
I think I'm going to win, but guys, what do you think? Give us your views. Who has the better team, and also share what do you think is your Premier League team of the season so far. Throw in some surprises in there for example, that maybe some players we never thought of. But it'd be good to hear what you guys think is your team for the season so far.
Yep.
Cool. A very interesting start to the show, Ram. What have you got in store next? What do you want to discuss next?
Let's start. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do next is basically, we are going to be talking about the top 4 finish. We're going to have in the top 4 finish of the Premier League. Now, of course, Hari and I, we understand that right now the season is very awkward. There's a lot of possible chances. Good teams like not really doing really well. Some of the teams that were not doing well last season are coming up in the top half of the table. So, Hari, I would like to ask you, what do you think of West Ham's chances for the top 4 finish? What do you think?
That's a great question, man. So, I think the first 3 slots are almost confirmed. I mean, things may change, but I think Man City, Man United, and Leicester, I think are too far ahead to be caught. Leicester, you still never know because they may have a collapse, but I think all 3 are doing pretty well, and I think they've got a bit of a gap now to the 4th place team, which is why I think those positions will stay as they are. 4th place finish is really interesting, right? Which is why I think we wanted to discuss this today. So West Ham occupies that spot right now. They played against Man City yesterday, and I think yesterday was for me a chance to analyze them and to see whether they could really stick on to that 4th position. I think they've got a really good chance watching them play yesterday. I don't know about what you think. Yeah,
I think so too.
Because they played Man City away, who are in and not just
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, they kept it very, very tight. They had a very good game plan against Man City, and they had a threat going forward, right, on the counter attack. I think Jesse Lingard has made a big difference for them. He adds a bit of speed, a bit of directness to their play.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think they become a threat from counter attack, and I also think, but one thing I'll say about West Ham, right? West Ham can compete for that 4th spot and maybe even get it, but I think a lot of it is dependent on the fitness of Mikel Antonio. Because he's their only fit striker, basically. They don't have any other strikers. He is such a difficult player to mark. He's very strong. He's like a bull. He runs the channels well. He's great in the air as well. And I think he becomes a threat. But I think if he gets injured, and he does have injury issues, then I think they will struggle to make that top 4 spot or qualify for the Champions League. That's my thoughts on West Ham. The rest of the team, I think, is really good. It's solid. But just like any of the other mid-table teams, I think their squad isn't very big, so they're very dependent on the luck of injuries. I think if they get an injury in the forward position, especially to Mikel Antonio, then I think they struggle to make top 4. So that's my thinking. What about you, Ram? What are your thoughts?
For me, I say after watching the yesterday's game with West Ham and Man City, I think that it gave me a very clear understanding of how good West Ham really is this season. I mean, I know they lost the game yesterday, but you got to agree with me, Hari. They created chances. They were shooting. They had proper crosses into the box, and of course, yes, Jesse Lingard was a main threat going forward with Antonio. And I do agree because Antonio is someone who's strong. He's like a muscle of West Ham's team. Like you can see him just like bulldozing everyone through and just making that chance. So I do agree that his presence has a lot to do with them getting and reaching that position and remaining on the fourth spot. But in my opinion, if I really want to be looking at the other teams, in the top half of the table, I can see, to be very honest, I can see even Everton doing something and pulling off a surprise there. I think it is possible for them to actually do it as well, because I think they do have a good team as well. And the fact that they beat Liverpool 2-0 at Anfield, I mean, it sets up for a very interesting top four finish. But I have a feeling that West Ham does have a chance. But I think I'm going to roll into say that Everton could possibly nick this one. What do you think, Gary?
So basically,
like Everton?
I'm going to back Liverpool still to make top four, right? Of course, I'm going to back Liverpool.
Liverpool is not going to be in the top four. Liverpool is not going to be in top four. Guys, what do you think?
Liverpool is definitely going to make the top four. Fingers crossed, at least, But in my opinion, there's 6 teams. My opinion, there's 6 teams in this fight for the fourth spot. It's West Ham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Tottenham, and Everton. All right. I was just looking at the fixtures. It's very interesting to see. Looking at the fixtures, right? West Ham have some tricky fixtures coming up. I think they're playing Leeds, Man United, and Arsenal in the next 3 games. That's a bit tricky, right? But their first 5 fixtures are actually quite easy. So in my opinion, they're playing Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. Those are their last 5 games. So if they're able to navigate the next few fixtures and collect some points, then I can see them making a real push towards the end, because they've got winnable games in the last 5 games of the season. Chelsea, on the other hand, under Tuchel, I think they're doing pretty well now. They're quite solid in defense. So they've obviously got a chance, but they also have some tricky fixtures coming up. They've got Man United, I think, this weekend. Today, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Today.
Right? They play
Today, yes.
They've got Liverpool next. They've got Everton after that, and then Leeds. And even their last 4 fixtures has them playing Man City, Arsenal, Leicester, Aston Villa. So I don't think Chelsea make it. That's my thoughts. I don't think they make it. Liverpool, on the other hand, they've got an easier run of fixtures coming up. So they've got Sheffield United, Chelsea, Fulham, Wolves, and Arsenal. Some tricky fixtures, but not all are tricky. They're finishing off with Man United, Southampton, West Brom, Burnley, and Crystal Palace, which is why I give them a shot. I'm hopeful that some injuries or some injured players come back by the end of the season and are able to help the push and get us across the finishing line. Fingers crossed. Now, this is an interesting one, right? So these are the dark horses. I think my dark horses, and I don't know about you, is Aston Villa, Tottenham, and Everton. Right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Aston Villa are interesting because they've got good players, but Grealish is out, I think, for 1 month. And I think that becomes a negative. So for me, they don't make it. So I'm not even going to go through a topic about them, because I think without Jack Grealish, they're missing a big component of their team. So I don't think they qualify. Tottenham under Mourinho are self-imploding. So I don't think they make it, because I don't know what.
Not at all. I agree. No. Yeah.
I think
they're not going to get that.
I think he's lost his touch, Mourinho. He's prehistoric in his way of managing teams. I don't like the guy. So yeah. So personally, I don't think they make it. The only thing that could pull them across the line is the partnership of Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, but I still don't think that's enough. And they also finished with some tough games. I think they've got Aston Villa and Leicester the last games of the season, but they have got some very winnable fixtures the next 3 or 4 games. So if they put a run together, maybe with Kane and Son, they may be able to give it a bit of a go. But I don't think they qualify. And the last one, which you spoke about, was Everton.
Yeah, Everton. Yes.
Right. I think Everton don't make it because I don't like Everton and they're biggest rivals. But with Carlo Ancelotti,
you're going to say that, man.
But with Carlo Ancelotti, you just never know. But yeah, I know, very interesting, right, Ram? I was going through some Everton stats. They do very well against the top 6 teams this season, and they do really badly against the bottom 6 teams this season. So maybe it's the way they play. Maybe they play on the counter attack, and some of the bottom teams just sit back and don't give them the space. So again, I don't know. I'm not very sure about Everton qualifying. And their last game of the season is Man City away as well. So if it goes down to the last game of the season, I don't think they make it. These are my thoughts. What about you? Let's do it this way around.
On
Pick your top four. Pick your top four right now. Put your neck on the line and choose your top four. And we'll see who's correct.
top four finish, right?
Yeah, top four.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So I will choose, of course, top four. I'll just say Man City, United. I'll go with Leicester and Everton.
So Man City
That's
to
my
win it,
top
of
four.
course, right? Man United not to win anything again, right? Quality. I love that from you.
Well, I'm hopeful. But I have to be honest. I have to be practical. That although they are playing well this year, but City is going to run away with it. 13 points clear. Today, United playing with Chelsea. If United can win this one, maybe there's a chance. But I think City is running away with it. That is for sure. I'm being very honest about this.
Like
what do you
that.
guys think?
I like
Please let us know.
I'm
more happy to listen to this.
I like honesty from a United fan. You don't always get it, so it's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
So my top four for the season: Man City to win it, of course. I think they're too far ahead.
Yeah.
I think Leicester beat United to a second place finish. So I think Leicester finished second. Man United finished third. And my fourth place team is Liverpool, of course. I'm going to back the Reds. I'm going to back Klopp to get it right. And first to make it and finish the end of the season. Oh, yeah, I like that. It's coming up. Yep. So, yeah. But that's my pick for top four. I know you don't like the choices are made, Ram, but yeah, you just got to deal with it. Not too bad.
Okay, whatever you say, whatever makes you happy, man. Whatever makes you happy.
But let's guys, viewers, please chip in with your views. Who's going to finish top four? We want to go through some comments next week as well. We want to hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to finish top four. That's Ram's choice and my selection. And yeah, we've got a bit of a bet going on this as well, Ram. I think good 10 ringgit bet would be nice on this maybe to see who finishes top four.
Oh.
Let's
Sure. Let's do 10 ringgit. Okay, guys. So I'm going to bet 10 ringgit.
Let's just do a day out with drinks, who pays for a match for drinks,
Sure.
Season.
Let's do a day out with drinks. I'll pay for the first round. I'll just get you some drinks. Yeah, sure. Why not? Of course. The winner pays for the drinks. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Done.
Set.
Cool.
Awesome. Deal.
What do we want to get into now, Ram? What do you think is something that's worth discussing now as a next point of call?
Well, thank you for asking me that question, Hari. I think this is one topic that I've been brewing. I've been really wanting to discuss. Of course, a United fan, this is one thing that I really, really want to talk about, and I'm sure you will want to talk about as well. Is how to beat Man City. How to beat Manchester City. West Ham came very close yesterday, but we want to know how to beat them. Yeah.
What do
you think, Hari?
First thing I'm going to say is we are no experts. The best managers in the world are struggling to beat Man City. So I don't know how we're going to be able to add any value to this, but I think just doing some analysis of Man City, I think it's a good discussion to have, and we want to hear everyone's thoughts about this as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, from a discussion, I think West Ham came really close yesterday. I think very interesting is how Pep Guardiola has evolved this team from last season and the seasons before. All right. If you see how Man City plays, it's a very interesting game they play. They don't play a traditional 4-3-3 formation, even though it looks like it on paper, because when they're in possession of the ball,
no, it's not.
When they're in possession of the ball, they actually play 2-3-5. That's how they play. They play 5 up top with maximum pressure on the ball. So what they do actually is they get, obviously they've got the 3 up top, one person in the center who plays almost like a false 9, especially when Aguero doesn't play. And then they have the 2 guys, wide Mahrez or Sterling, for example, or Torres. They stay right at the or Bernardo Silva at the white, basically at the corner of the pitch. They stay right at the edge of the pitch, so they make the field as big as possible, allowing space for their 2 midfielders, number 8s, to join into the attack, which makes the 5. So these 2 that join into the attack are normally Gundogan, which is why he scores a lot of goals, and it's sometimes Bernardo Silva or it's Kevin De Bruyne. It just changed, and those make the 5 that attack. Now, if those 5 attack and those 2 midfielders join into the attack, then you're just left with Rodri and 2. You're just left with Rodri basically and 2 centre backs in the centre, or Rodri in the centre of midfield, which means he'll be overcrowded in the midfield. So what they then do is they get their 2 fullbacks. So whether it's João Cancelo or Zinchenko or Kyle Walker, for example, whoever they play as fullback, which is why João Cancelo is so key to the way they play this year.
Yes.
They join into the midfield. So João Cancelo and Zinchenko make it a 3 with Rodri. So they have 3 in the middle of midfield. They have 5 attacking, and they have 2 at the back with Ruben Diaz, who manages the defense really well, and John Stones. So that makes them so hard to get past because they've got a tough midfield. You cannot overcrowd them in there. You've got 5 in the front, so you just cannot get out of defense when you have the ball. And it makes them so hard to beat. And then they play a very high line as well. So, you generally get caught off sides. I think it's so hard to play them. And I can't really figure out any team that can play them. I think the team that has the best chance and normally beats them on most occasions is Liverpool. But even they struggle this year because of injuries, I think. But Liverpool plays a high pressing game. So I think that's the way to maybe go about them. Really press them high up the field, high energy, crowd them up in the middle of midfield. And I think what West Ham did yesterday was very interesting. So,
Yes.
yeah, and I think you will chip in with this as well. But I think West Ham pressed them a little bit. But what West Ham did was really cool was whenever they got the ball back, they played it into the channels wide. Because the fullbacks come into the midfield, the gaps against Man City are out wide, basically, in the fullbacks area.
Yes.
Where the fullbacks play.
Absolutely.
What they had was Mikel Antonio running down those channels, and Jesse Lingard did it a lot. He went down the channel a lot, which is where they scored the goal from as well. He went down the channel, he crossed the ball. Antonio missed the first time. I think he hit the post, and second time around he scored.
Yeah.
He went down the channels, basically where the gaps are, where the fullbacks come into the middle for Man City. So I think that's the way that some of the smaller teams or some of the mid-table teams can take on Man City on the counter-attack. If not, I don't see anyone stopping them because that is such a powerful team in possession of the ball. What do you think, Ram?
I think you've said a lot of things that I think I would have said the same way as well, because it is very true. They are playing a very high line. They've got so many players up top. But Hari, do you realize one thing about Man City? It's like anyone can be a striker, anyone can be a midfielder. Even if you look at John Stones, you look at Ruben Diaz, for example. They have so much of intensity. They can go forward. They can be as good as strikers. The way they're going up top, they're not scared to express themselves at all. I think Man City are the only team in the Premier League, okay, that the players really know how to express themselves, and they are given the license to do that.
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
Because they do that a lot. And the thing is, I look at Ilkay Gundogan, for example, right? A few seasons ago when he came in, nothing great. But this season, he has just been on top form, scoring goals. And frankly, Hari, they don't even miss Aguero at all. He doesn't need to be in the team anymore. It's like you've got all the stars you need in that team. And I'm so surprised that against West Ham, both the central defenders scored the goals.
Yep.
And they have goals from everywhere. So if today Jesus is not scoring, or Rodri is not scoring, or Kevin De Bruyne is not scoring, or whatsoever it is, they have anybody in the team that can just whip in across. Somebody will be there to take it. And the other thing I like about Man City when they play is everyone gets behind the ball. The moment they lose the ball, someone is behind the ball.
Yep.
There's no possible way that someone is going to just shove them over and just take the ball from them. They will be the first ones to get the ball back. Okay, look for a pass to the back or the front, and of course that is how they win all their games as well. But yes, I do agree that West Ham yesterday did give a good fight. I think they came really close. They've showed how that other teams can actually attack Man City as well by going through the flanks.
Yep.
And of course, if only they could do that a lot more yesterday, and they did have a chance towards the end to make it 2-2, but it was just unfortunate for them. So yeah, I think City are unbeatable. I think I'm not surprised if they do go the entire season winning all the remaining games. But we want to hear from you guys. If you guys know anything, or you guys want to share with us your information on how you think teams can beat Man City, please comment down below. We are so excited to hear what you think, so we can actually talk about it in our next show as well.
I think right. I think you're spot on there, Ram. So the thing with Man City is Pep has a system, right? And Thierry Henry mentioned this last time because Henry played under Pep in Barcelona. He said he has a system. You have to follow the system. So if you play out wide for them, you have to stick to the white line, basically, right to the throw-in line. And then once you get into the final third, then you have the license to come in and do whatever you want. But in the build-up play, you have to stay in the flanks, the two wide men. And the very simple reason for that is if they stay wide, then you have gaps in the center. because the fullbacks have to stay with them, and that's where the midfielders can run into that gap. They basically create space. The other thing that's impressive about them is they're a possession-based team, but they work really hard in possession as well, because everyone is making themselves available for a pass. So they make a lot of runs to make. So if you're the person on the ball, you have got options to play the ball because people are making runs off the ball to get into space. So that's cool. But again, at the end of the day, the system they play is brilliant, but it only works because they've got the best players in the world. And Man City are able to buy everyone because of the money they have and the wealth they have, which I think is very unfair because of them breaching FFP potentially as well. But I mean, the system is brilliant, but it only works with the best players, and they've got the best players. They've got ball-playing centre backs. Everyone can play with the ball at his feet, including the goalkeeper. And I think that's what makes it work, at the end of the day. So yeah, it's a very interesting conversation. You're spot on, Ram. We'd love to hear from everyone. How do you beat Man City? How do you take them on? And what do you think is their core strength? And who is their key player? Who's that one player if you take out of Man City, they won't be the same? I mean, De Bruyne has come out this year injured and they still won games. Aguero the same. So who do you think is that one player that you take out of Man City and they might end up dropping points, or their intensity and their performance levels will drop? I think today it's Ruben Dias, because I think he controls that back line and he makes sure they don't concede goals, which is why they're able to win one goal by 1-0 or 2-0 as well, because they keep the back door shut. He's had the same impact as Virgil van Dijk, and I think he's crucial for them. So yeah, that's my opinion. But again, conversation to be had, guys. Please drop your comments here. We'd like to discuss in the next show as well. And yeah, I think we've covered quite a few key topics today, Ram. But I think one thing we want to end this show with today is, I'm a Liverpool fan. He's a Man United fan. We can't leave the show without talking a little bit about our teams.
Yes.
Man United struggling for centre backs, I think, or their performance level. They're missing someone, I think, at the back to partner maybe Maguire. And Liverpool are obviously short of centre backs. They don't have any fit centre backs. And the midfielders were playing centre backs out as well. So, Ram, quick question. Who do you think Man United should sign as a centre back in the summer? And I'll tell you who I think Liverpool should sign as centre back in the summer as well. So maybe you want to go first.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Harry, for actually bringing out the topic. I think that's going to be interesting because both of our teams are struggling in the back of defense. So for United, I'm really, really excited to look at young talents. I believe that the younger the person is, of course, and is highly rated, I think they should go for him. Yep. So I'm interested in Dan Axel Zagadou of Borussia Dortmund. 21-year-old.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
21-year-old, yes. Yep. Dan Axel Zagadou. I don't know how you pronounce that name.
I'm taking note of that. Google him out later, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Google him out. He's 21 years old. And I think he has been. He was schooled as PSG. He was schooled in PSG, and of course, he came to the ranks in Borussia Dortmund. So I think he's one to look at. For United, I think he can fit into the system because he's young, he's raw. I think definitely he'll be a good replacement for some of the defenders that we have. I don't really like Maguire, to be honest. I don't like Lindelof. I'm very happy to buy you there, but I think this guy could really, really partner him, and that's for me.
So you think Maguire and Lindelof should be sold, is it? If you had it your way?
Yes. If I had the choice to make, I would want to let go of Maguire and Lindelof because I think they are just making far too many mistakes. Lindelof has a back problem, every time he plays. So I think I want to give him a little bit of rest, just go play somewhere else. So I think this guy Dan Axel Zagadou, I like his name though. I mean, I think it'd be an interesting fit. I wonder how his shirt will look like at the back. How do you put everything? So that's for me, Harry. For United, what about you for Liverpool?
All right, we want to wrap the show up as soon as possible as well, guys. I'm going to be very, very quick with this one. I think we need 2 new centre backs because Matip is injured consistently and he may even get sold in the summer. He's injury prone. Virgil van Dijk is coming back from a bad injury, and then we only have Gomez apart from that. I think Ozan Kabak will be returned back. He's only a loan. I don't think we will finalize him because I see a lot of flaws in his game. I think we should go for someone like Gleison Bremer. Apparently, he's someone who's been followed very closely by Klopp. He plays in the Italian league. He's tall, he's strong, good on the ball. So take note of that, Gleison Bremer. And the other one we tried to sign.
Gleison Bremer.
Bremer, Bremer. And the other one, I think it's Brazilian actually, Bremer. I think the other one we tried to sign in January, but we were not able to finalize because it was too close to the end. was a Croatian defender called Duje Kaleteka, who plays for Marseille. And I think, again, good in the air, looks solid as a defender. So, yeah, I'd probably like one of the two of them to be finalized. So, yeah, cool. Listen, we're coming to the end of our show, guys. I'm going to leave you guys with a bit of trivia before we end our show, right? This is a very interesting trivia, and maybe you guys can come back to us with your comments and answers on this trivia, and we'll read out these comments and your answers next week. But yeah, can you share with us, okay, can you name the players to have played for both Manchester United and Chelsea in the Premier League era? All right, I think there are a total of 8 players who have played for both Man United and Chelsea in the Premier League era. I'm going to drop one in here, and that's Juan Mata. So he's played
Yes, of course.
exactly. But if you guys can come back to us, name the rest. I think Ram, you can think about this as well. And yeah, let's discuss it in the comments. Let's discuss in your comments from next week. So yeah, guys, listen, we want to sign off here. Ram, you want to sign off on the show?
Yes, guys, I want to say thank you very much for watching our show, and of course continue to support us by watching our show, subscribe to us, and of course view all our upcoming videos. We are so excited to look at your comments. So I just want to say, keep the comments coming in. Let us know your feedback. Let us know what you think. So here it is, guys. Our second show, signing off as The Plot Malaysia. Thank you very, very much. Cheers.
Cheers, Ram. Harry here, signing off from The Plot. Guys, remember, this is a show
for the
fans, for the fans, by the fans. So we need your comments. Please subscribe. Yep, and we'll see you again next week. Cheers, Ram.
Cheers. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.